Hey everybody, it's Record Time with Chris, episode 37, and here I have some more Record Store Day releases. These two showed up literally as I was just about to publish the big video on Tuesday. So, hey, we got to show you these. These are two from Colemine Records. First one is the Postales soundtrack, which I think they issued a few years ago. It sold out immediately. Now you can get it again. One of the things I like about Colemine is their packaging is always like top notch. So you get, it's nice, it's really heavy, cardboard here. This one is, you can see it's kind of crossed out, but this album is, they're individually numbered. And this soundtrack is by, most of the songs are by Los Sospechos. S-O-S-P-E-C-H-O-S. And they're great. And this is kind of like, if you could imagine, like I have no idea what this movie's like, but it's the music's great. It's almost like you could use this for a Quentin Tarantino movie. It would sound perfect. They're like a modern Western. You know, this would be great. This is really, really cool. You'll enjoy it. Keep an eye out for that. Their Colemine Records' other record is a live album by the Delvon Lamarr organ trio, and they just released their first studio album, which is fantastic. If you're into like Groove Holmes or Jimmy McGriff, or to choose somebody less obscure like Jimmy Smith, that like organ, soul, jazz, you're gonna like this. One of the things that's, and this is sort of the way a lot of Colemine Records releases look, is they look very much like a classic kind of, could be like a Blue Note almost package design here. Now, just Wednesday night, there was a blog post on the ColemineRecords.com website that I think is worth reading from. Now, Colemine, it's C-O-L-E, mine, C-O-L-E, like coleslaw, not like a coal mine, like, you know, working downtown, you know, whoops, another, not that. It's because the owners are, last names are Cole, C-O-L-E. And so here's something that Terry Cole wrote, and should also mention that it's his comments on Record Store Day, and I'm just gonna read some of it, a lot of it, but just to preface, so he's the co-owner of Colemine Records, and they have a store called Plaid Room Records. That's a store, so he's got an interesting perspective, both as a indie store owner and as a indie label owner, on what it's like to be involved in Record Store Day from those two sides of things. All right, so Record Store Day is by far the busiest time of year for our shop outside of the holiday season. So you would think that any record store, record label, or record buyer would be elated about a day dedicated to an industry you have an affinity for. But not so. Every year, as Record Store Day approaches, I start to hear a familiar voice. Sometimes I hear it in the shop, sometimes on the phone, other times via the internet. But it's a familiar voice that I know all too well. The voice of the record curmudgeon, the cynic, the negative Nancy, the Debbie Downer, the person who thinks Record Store Day is a complete farce and only there to serve the major labels. Well, friends, I'm here to put another voice in your head, and I won't assume that my perspective is one shared by all. It's simply my perspective. That's Terry Cole's perspective. Now, back to what he wrote here. Record Store Day is a day that has given both our shop and label an opportunity to shine. It's a day when we have gained thousands of new fans on both sides of our business. On the shop side, we've approached RSD by surveying our customers in order to gauge interest in particular titles. No one makes us order anything. If we see a title on the list that we don't think we can sell, then we simply don't order it. There is a common misconception among customers that the entity known as Record Store Day decides how many copies each shop receives. And well, that's just not true. If we want a bunch of Now Again's reissue of David Axelrod's masterpiece, Song of Innocence, then we'll order a bunch. My point is that I don't let the seemingly frivolous releases from the major labels bother or jade me on the whole day. Sure, maybe I'm not into them, but maybe some of our local customers are, and if that's the case, then you better believe I'll be stocking them. And while I can't speak for every shop in the country, I can say that surveying our customers certainly reduces the number of leftover items following the weekend. I also try not to let the frivolity of a few releases jade my genuine excitement for what I think are great and worthy releases. On the label side of things, it's this big, beautiful opportunity to make something fantastic. It's this massive platform to make something cool that record stores want to champion. For example, this year we chose to reissue the Killer soundtrack by Los Sospechos that we released 6 years ago, and I'm going to skip this part. This is Chris speaking. I'm going to skip that stuff because I just showed it to you. All right, that's cool. It's music. This is back to him. This is cool. It's music a lot of people don't even know about, and now they will, and that's cool. That's neat. That's engaging and worthy of a Record Store Day release. Perhaps as a result of that purchase, they will leave their local record store and think, man, those idiots at Colemine really went all out with the packaging on this release. I wonder if they have anything else that's not terrible. And then they'll go check us out and be like, man, this stuff isn't the worst thing I've ever heard. My point is, and this is Terry's point, that Record Store Day is a beautiful opportunity to showcase what your label is about, whatever that may be. All right. And then he goes on to say they have to hustle it, and but I'm just going to leave it here. Now, my final thought is this. Record Store Day is a good thing for independent labels and for independent record stores. Both of those are things that I like. So until I feel differently, Colemine Records will continue to use Record Store Day as a vehicle to reach a wider audience, and Plaid Room Records will continue to use it as a vehicle to entice new customers. So in all seriosity, happy Record Store Day to everyone. The optimist, the collector, the store owner, the store employees, the hardworking indie labels, distributors, the vinyl newbie, the vinyl veteran, and yes, even the curmudgeon. Cheers, Terry Cole. So there's a live Dickey Betts album recorded in the late 80s, and what's cool is Warren Haynes and Matt Abds, I can never pronounce this, Abds, futurely of Government Mule, are on here, and it is a really, really fun record. You know, Blue Sky in memory of Elizabeth Reed, Dwayne's tune Jessica, a real long version of Jessica, Statesboro Blues, and then you got like Rick Derringer guesting on Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. Oh, One Way Out. Derringer sings on that too for some reason. And Spoonful with Jack Bruce comes along to sing the Cream song, and Southbound, and that's got Jack Bruce, Mick Taylor, and Rick Derringer on that. So anyway, nice release. I did that after the Delvon Lamarr one because they're both live. There's also a Live Doors album here, Live at the Matrix, and Let's Feed Ice Cream to the Rats. It's from two different shows in 1967 in March. So, this is really cool. So it was cut by Bernie Grundman himself, and so it's a nice record. You know, mastered by Bruce Botnick, who was their original engineer and still works on all Doors projects. Nice. You know, anti-static, high-quality inner sleeve there, but they also give you the, you know, the printed liner, you know, fancy inner sleeve too. If you, you know, so you get the best of both worlds. You don't get that messed up by record shifting and shipping, even if it's just shipping to us. Okay, Lou Reed, triple live album, 3 LPs. It's Animal Serenade, and he's doing his stuff, and also some Velvet Underground stuff. which of course is his stuff too. And nice triple gatefold here with blurry close-ups of, you know. And what I want to show you is this. As you can see, the instrumentation's a little different. If you've never heard this album, you can see that he's got a cello player in there, and you know, not like a big ass drum set. It's different sort of stuff, but it's, you know, and he's funny. He's a funny guy. He talks a bit too. Notorious B.I.G. Juicy 12-inch. This is a key you know, classic hip hop song, and it's like a clear smoky vinyl. I don't know how well it's gonna look, but smoky and marbled. Another 12-inch that's being reissued is Madonna, You Can Dance. And as you see, it's got like an obi strip on it. It's on red vinyl, I believe. Yes, red opaque vinyl with a, you know, 80s looking Sire logo. And it says on here, red full-size poster. It says on that sticker. So what's a full-size poster? You know, it makes you think, what, 12 by 24, right? No, 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 no. This is one of those nice 6 square feet posters. Ah, which I just ripped. Be careful when you open it. Don't be like me. There. I don't even know if I can show you the whole thing. Last 4 things I want to show you in this video are from Rhino. And there's a theme here too. So we got a reissue of the Stooges' first album. But what's kind of cool about it is that they've made a 2 LP set out of it, and Ben Blackwell from Third Man Records chose alternate versions of the main songs on the album, with one exception. They must not have been able to find an alternative Real Cool Time. Liner notes, it's nice, heavy black vinyl. And check this out, it's red inside. So it looks pretty slick when you take it out. And see if I can see who. Yeah, there's a little, right. Okay, so this was, there's a little CB on here, so meaning this was mastered by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grunman. There's the theme here amongst all these next few things, including that, is stuff that's been like out on box sets before, but being packaged as single albums now, like alternate albums. So here we have rough mixes from the Ramones album Leave Home. And what's pretty cool about this, black vinyl, this one was mastered at Sterling, I think. And you know what's pretty cool about this one is it seems kind of like they all seem, it seems a little more restrained than the actual album is, but I don't know how much of that is just the difference between listening to a really nicely pressed record in my adulthood versus, you know, a tape on a boombox as a teenager, right? Okay, same idea here, Fleetwood Mac, Tango in the Night, alternate. This is stuff that was on the box set. So the thing is, on the box set, like, you want as much stuff as you can, right? But because it's an alternate album, it's really pretty cool, I think. By putting it on one record, you can then just listen to it the way you would listen to an album. I think it's more about the way you approach it. It's a different listening experience. And, you know, you wouldn't even have one of these unless you were pretty familiar with the core album anyhow. So let me show you what we've got here. This is really cool. It's like there's a green pattern on the inside with it's like the sticker here. It's supposed to look like plants or palms or whatever. And it's in a nice, again, fancy, expensive anti-static sleeve, which I should mention, Colemine, they just used, you know, the nice Mobile Fidelity sleeves in theirs. Last record, though, back to the stuff that was on a box set, we have the alternate Moondance album by Van Morrison, of course. Nice, again, nice pressing. These are all pretty different versions than the ones that are on the Moondance album. And again, this one was also cut by Chris Bellman. So, unless something shows up immediately, this might be my last video before Record Store Day. So, you know, I just want to, you know, I mean, Terry said it best here. Happy Record Store Day to everyone. The optimist, the collector, the store owner, the store employees, the hardworking indie labels, distributors, the vinyl newbie, the vinyl veteran, and yes, even the curmudgeon. That was Terry Cole from Colemine Records and Plaid Room Records. And I'm Chris Brown. And, you know, I wish you all that good stuff too. He just said it better than me. I'd like to point out, just for those of you who don't watch all of my videos, that you know, I said nice things about those Colemine Records releases, not because they said nice things about Record Store Day. You know, if you've seen some of my other ones, you know that I'm a fan of the label, and I think they do great things, and Terry and Bob just have, like, really good taste. So, and do a nice job. So that's why. That's that. Just, you know, disclaimer, asterisk, you know.